again? Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy 18:9. So when we're talking about the devil and all the different ways that he can influence us, I think it's really important, especially as women, to sometimes we can be naive in how we're led astray from God. The devil is very deceptive. You know, it definitely says in the Bible that he disguises himself as, the light, a light. So the devil's going to try to use all sorts of really subtle ways to, draw us away from God, but also to, cause us to, sin, even if we don't necessarily mean it. But the Bible is incredibly clear about things that the Lord uh, calls us to stay away from, especially I know in this modern day is the witchcraft, the sorcery, the astrology. I used to be really big into astrology before I found Jesus. Here in Deuteronomy 18:9, it talks very specifically, when you come into the land which the Lord your God is giving you, you shall not learn to follow the abominations of those nations. There shall not be found among you anyone who makes his or her son, his daughter pass through fire, or one who practices witchcraft, or a soothsayer, or one who interprets omens, or a sorcerer, or conjures spells, or a medium, or a spiritist, or one who calls up the dead. For all of these things are an abomination to the Lord. And because of these abominations, the Lord your God drives them out from before you. You shall be blameless before the Lord your God. So it's really my point is that, and there's a lot of different verses that talk about sorcery and the witchcraft and things like that that God calls us not to engage in because it is against His will, against the things that He wants from His children. And it just really leads, I think, into the things that Cheri was starting to touch on last week about the child trafficking, the human trafficking, all of these really horrific things that, many of us don't want to even begin to imagine for, obvious kind of reasons because it's so horrifying. But these types of things that we think are innocent, when you dabble in the witchcraft, when you do the tarot cards, when you go and you have a medium, like think about your future and talk to you about your future, they're all opening the doors, and they might seem innocent, they might seem not a big deal, but they're drawing you away from God and allowing the devil to have a foothold into your life that can, really cause you to go astray.
In my question always about that is like going to a medium and reading the tarot cards and going to a psychic and all this. Why? What's the point? What are you going to do about it? What can you yourself do about it? So you can worry about what's going to happen. I like Jen's saying, just trust God, just trust in the Word, and in what will be, and whatever will be is meant for you. And I think once you trust in that and have faith in God, then it does lead away from your desire to know, what's my future going to be, and go and trusting these people and getting into the witchcraft and letting, the devil in. Use letting God in is your protection against the devil. And once you
Yeah.
let God in, you won't be attracted to these ways that are seemingly, like Jen said, they're seemingly charming. They'll draw you in, and but they're really meant for evil. And God is our protection, ever present protection against that.
Yeah. Well, I can speak for myself when I was into these kinds of things. Um, the feeling that I got was, I think something that, the devil plays a lot on in women. It connected, I felt connected to nature. It was a spiritual kind of thing. When you went to like a medium or things like that, I know a lot of times it comes up where people want to hear or speak to their family members that they love that were passed. And so they sell this idea that they can actually, connect you to like,
It freaks
your
me
loved
out.
ones that are, gone. So I think that, it plays on a lot of the emotions that women naturally kind of seek in connection and feeling connected. Um,
Mhm.
but one of the most important things that has really changed in my heart and my mind is wanting to feel connected to Jesus and finding your worth in Jesus. So whereas, you can go to witchcraft or, somebody that's a sorcerer or wants to promise you all these things or, a prosperity or anything, you really need to find your worth in Jesus and your identity in Jesus Christ, who will help you to feel all of the things that you're seeking from man that you could never get the love of Jesus through.
And I think that's a really good point, Jen. Like you said, like the devil preys on the weak, and the devil definitely, I think, obviously sees women as the weaker of the two sexes, because look, who did he go to in the garden? He went to Eve. He didn't go to Adam. And then Eve went to Adam. So he kind of worked through Eve, to get to Adam, because yeah, you could say women are men's weakness, so to speak. And we not that, but men will give into women, into, and it's seen as, men won't give in to men are stronger minded, I guess. If that's what the devil believes, that's what the devil wants us to believe. So he,
Until you come to
you
like
said,
gambling. So I
believe
think I
on.
think I think the devil knows exactly the difference between the sexes, what makes each one of us
Yeah,
more
yeah,
vulnerable. There's
yes,
certain things that make each one of us vulnerable when it comes, for the different sexes. And, with women, I find it to be stuff that is based on like feeling connected to
feel.
something, feeling like you're part of it, feeling like you can make a difference in it. Those types of things. But yeah, give a man a gambling site. Give him an opportunity to make some money.
Yeah,
There, I think that they're a lot
based.
more vulnerable to those wiles of the devil than maybe that a woman is. But yeah, I think it's important we go back to the word, and we always say, like, go back to the word, and what does God say for us in this? He explicitly says, "You shall be blameless before the Lord your
Mhm.
God if you do not engage in these things." And as Christians and as followers of Jesus, we're called to be blameless before the Lord. And these are the types of ways that we can, really walk with God, is to stay away from those types of things that the devil would really want to engage us in and take us away from. So that was just one thing about
Yeah,
like us, and that includes like astrology and stuff like that. That was very hard to give up.
excellent.
But yeah, so stick with us because next time we're going to cover another different topic about how the devil loves to get to us and draw us away from God. So thanks.